What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the Soul Break. Thanks for stopping by my channel. So today I have a very wild pair of sneakers, and as you can see, these are the Air Max 1 in collaboration with Concepts in the heavy colorway. So these released a couple days ago, and I believe this was part of Nike's kind of like Air Max Day release. And this pair released alongside two different models, and the other one is called Mellow, and I can't remember what the other one is called, but I think that's scheduled to release pretty soon. And what's interesting is that, these released online, and there were multiple pairs sitting online, and I was I was able to pick up a pair quite easily in my size from one of the retailers in South Korea. And I believe there are a lot of sizes still sitting on the website. So it's really interesting to be able to cop a Concepts collab for retail that easily. But I guess it is what it is. Now, as you can see, there's a lot going on in this sneaker, and I got a lot to talk about. So without further ado, let's just dive right into the sneaker. Again, this is supposed to represent the 60s counterculture according to Concept's website, but I did not live in that era, so I'm not going to even try to know what I'm talking about, but I'm just going to go through the design aspects and what they're kind of, supposed to, represent or reminisce about. So let's start with the side of the sneaker. So as you can see, you've got this kind of like canvas type of material that reminds us of sort of like a tie-dye print, or like almost a washed denim. And as I was saying, this entire sneaker is supposed to represent that sort of counterculture and that kind of vibe that was pretty prevalent in the 60s. And I guess it draws inspiration from the clothing and garments that were worn by people back then. And on top of that sort of denim-like feature on the side, you've got a very nice Nike swoosh, almost like a patch with I guess some white, yellow, and orange bands across that Nike swoosh, and it's also nicely outlined with this kind of like thick black threading. And then towards the front of the shoe, you've got this camel print ripstop material lining the toe cap area of the shoe. And what I can tell you is that it's got really nice QC, and I think Concepts really always knocks it out of the park as far as materials go, because this ripstop material does feel very substantial, and it is very nice. It's pretty smooth to the touch, and I guess that's supposed to kind of also represent the clothing worn back in the day. But again, I'm not going to even try to know what I'm talking about. I'm just going to kind of go through this kind of details. And you've got that tiger camel print across that toe cap area. And then right on top of that, you've got a nice, this kind of like calfskin overlay lining the side here. And as you can see, it's quite smooth to the touch, and it kind of blows my mind how Concepts was able to pick out all these different materials and then blend them in so nicely that it's just really like eye candy to me. And it's very interesting how they pulled this one off. And then on the toe box, you see more of that canvas material and that sort of like tie-dye or denim-like print here. And then it does have this kind of embroidery with a star and the moon. I'm not really sure what that is, but from what I've been told, it's supposed to symbolize something from the 60s counterculture. But again, I'm not going to try to act like what I know I'm talking about. So if you're interested, you might want to look that up on Concepts websites, because they might have some more detailed explanations about it. Now on the center, you see these brown cotton laces factory laced onto the shoe. And they're pretty choked up, so you might want to loosen them up when you're wearing them. And then on the side, for the eye stay area, you see more of that kind of like canvas material overlay here on the side. And underneath that, what you can see is that you got a very dark brown leather tongue. And I can tell you that this leather is pretty thickly cut, And it's a pretty nice piece of leather. I think it's quite different from what we see on, say, like Air Jordan 1 models. So I think they did pick out a really, you know, a substantial piece of leather to construct this particular model, especially it being a special project. So it's really interesting. And then here you got a very retro looking tongue tab with the Nike text logo as well as the orange swoosh logo, and right underneath that you got the Concepts text logo in different colors with purple, pink, and green, and blue. I guess that kind of font is supposed to also represent that font that was used back in the day to kind of give off that retro vibe. And I think it's a really, really interesting touch, and it's one of my favorite details of this particular sneaker. And what's also interesting is that on the inside of the shoe, you see this very, almost like a corduroy kind of looking mesh sock liner on the inside of the shoe. And then you got a wild outsole with all these different colored details, once again representing the kind of that counterculture theme that Concepts try to pull off. As you can see, it's very, very vivid and colorful inside right there. And then what they also did was that they added this kind of silver looking guitar pick with Concepts logo and the text logo on one side, and then the Nike logo on the other side. Obviously, you know, the 60s counterculture has a lot to do with those like outdoor concerts and music. So I think it's very fitting for Nike to add this little detail. And it's so cool that they went the extra mile to kind of add a tag like this. And it's very shiny. Obviously, if you wear these, you're probably gonna take them out, but if you're gonna leave them, like, you know, just for display, I think it's pretty cool. It's a very nice little touch, you know, to kind of keep that theme very consistent throughout. And then on the back side of the shoe, you see more of that tiger print, tiger camel print overlay here lining the back side of the shoe. And then for the collar area, you see the Concepts text kind of embroidered onto the collar area using blue and light blue and kind of red types of threads. And I don't know, for me, that kind of reminds me of a guitar strap maybe, but I'm not entirely sure what that's supposed to represent. But again, I'm gonna say this a million times, but it's supposed to kind of, you know, tie into that sort of counterculture theme and vibe overall. So if you know more about that, just feel free to leave something down below in the comment sections. I would really, really like to know, especially if you lived in that era. That'd be really cool to know. And then here, right underneath that, you got a sort of like a orange canvas overlay here on the back side with the Nike swoosh logo, and then you got the Nike Air text logo embroidered in white. And that I've been told that they've kind of left the, you know, extra threads just hanging around to give off that kind of, you know, vintage vibe for the shoe. And, you know, I think that's a very subtle yet really cool touch, keeping that overall theme going. And then on the medial side, what's interesting is that you've got this Nike swoosh with all these embroidered floral prints across the shoe. And as you can see, the embroidery itself is very, very nicely executed. I'm really not complaining anything about the QC on this particular release. And I think Nike did a really, really good job of, you know, creating a very unique swoosh for this particular release. As you can see, you've got flowers in red, white, blue, and yellow. And again, this ties into that sort of 60s counterculture and all that theme. So yeah, what I found really interesting is the midsole. So the midsole itself is just your regular kind of cream or off-white colored EVA foam material. But what's interesting is that you've got these brown splatters, and I was curious as to why Nike made that design choice, but I found out on Concepts website that that's supposed to represent the splattered mud when people go out to like outdoor concerts and stuff. And you've probably had this experience where you walk around in your shoes and you've got mud or dirt splatter across your outsole, especially if, you know, you're walking across like wet grass or whatnot. And Concept did add that detail on purpose to kind of reminisce or kind of represent that sort of musical culture. And I think that's a really, really smart and kind of, you know, a very interesting way to create that you know, design, because as you can see, you even have that splatter print on the air unit on the back side, and then you've got that typical air unit as we see on any other Air Max 1 model, and then you got the pillars all done in that sort of like gum colored material. And then the outsole is a very beautiful looking gum outsole with the typical traction pattern that we see on any other Air Max R1 model. So there's nothing too crazy there. And the other side of the shoe is basically the same deal, except for the fact that you got 2 extra sets of laces, one being a very classic, just, you know, white cotton laces. And then the other one is this kind of like, almost like a velvet kind of feeling. I would say like a peanut butter colored set of laces here. And I don't know, it's really, really interesting. You got a ever so subtle color change when you run your finger across it. And I think it's really nice of Nike to kind of add these extra laces. I know the mellow pair is really cool itself, because I tried picking that pair up, but then I just kind of canceled my order because I thought this was the better looking out of the two. Obviously you might disagree, but what I did want to mention is that I think the other one isn't that great, but this orange overlay, the canvas overlay, is supposed to have that bandana print, as you can see on the side. And the prints are different for each pair, so you're gonna get a unique pair for every pair. So I guess I wasn't pretty lucky with my pair for the left shoe, because I don't see any bandana prints there, but I do see a slight hint of that on the right shoe. So that's it's good to know. And yeah, that's about it with the shoes. But I also wanted to show you guys the box, because the box is just, you know, out there. Nike really did a great job with concepts. As you can see all those details, you know, prints representing that sort of counterculture. I'm not gonna go through each and every one of them, because you can just see it's really, really just eye candy. It's mesmerizing as you look at it. And this almost reminds me of like a special edition Jordan 1 box, because you got all that black background with the Nike text and swoosh logo, except for the fact that, you know, the Nike text and swoosh logo is anything but regular. You got all that crazy print going around. And also on the side, you see the Crazy Concepts text logo here. And that kind of, you know, goes around the entire box, as you can see. And what's even cooler is that when you open the box up, they even give you this special paper all done in red with the Concepts text logo printed in white, and then you see more of that floral print to keep that counterculture vibe alive. So, you know, this is it's a full package. Nike really, really did a great job with concepts. Props to both brands. Just, you know, taking that, you know, extra step, an extra mile, making that, you know, 2022 Air Max Day really, really special. So, you know, if you're a huge Air Max 1 fan, I think this is just a no-brainer for you guys. It's probably a must cop, even if you decide to wear them, or if you just kind of put them on your coffee table, or like, I don't know, somewhere in your room for display. I think this is just a crazy, crazy release in a very good way. Wearability wise, you know, I think I would try to pull off a nice fit with this. You know, what I think would go well with would be sort of like some khaki shorts, you know, those like baggy shorts, whether it be in khaki or like army green, and then I would probably like pull it off with like a white t-shirt, and then wear some, you know, like a denim jacket or whatever, I think that would go really, really well with this particular model, because again, it's got that sort of, 60s vibe to it. And so anything, that kind of, goes with that sort of, wardrobe would be really, really nice. Sizing wise, I've never actually tried a pair of Air Max 1s, but I would imagine that this would be basically the same thing. So, if you're curious about sizing, you might want to just try on any sort of, Air Max 1 that you could get in the outlets or any Nike store for that matter, and then try that on and then just kind of translate into this model. Resale wise, it's pretty interesting. Even though it is a concepts collab, I don't think the resale value is crazy. I think there's maybe like $20 to $30 on top of retail. So, I mean, if this is your thing, you might really, really want to go for it, because, that's just basically like really nothing compared to what we see on other shoes. Like some pairs go for more than like $100 on top of retail. So yeah, that's just good to know. Anyways, that's basically it for today. I hope you guys enjoyed watching this video. And if you guys enjoyed watching this video, I got this tongue twister, man. What the hell is going on? But anyways, if you guys enjoyed watching this video, please hit that subscribe button. It really, really helps my channel grow. And I've actually got 2 more very interesting sneakers sitting around in my room, so I am going to film those videos really, really soon and then post them, try to get back on that regular upload schedule. But anyways, stay tuned for more, and thanks for watching.